I'm standing up today, talking to you, standing up, because today it's tough love. Okay? Tough love. I might not be nice, but I'm being kind. So we're going to talk about blame. Yeah? It's very easy, isn't it, to blame others for things that aren't going right in our lives. Yeah? And of course, absolutely, there are situations where in the past you have been around difficult people and those situations deserve compassion. 100%. I'm not saying that people haven't experienced difficulties and those difficulties were not truly awful, of course. Yeah, they deserve compassion and they deserve to be thought about and worked through. Yeah? I'm talking more really in general. That we can blame our current situation on perhaps parents or siblings or teachers or friends. They made me feel like this. They made me feel like that. But what you're doing when you're carrying that pain from your past forward, you're continuing that disempowerment of yourself. So where people in the past may have disempowered you, by carrying that pain forward, you're continuing that. So stop it, okay? You need to stop it now. You need to leave that in the past. Yeah? You need to leave that in the past, and you're not going to allow whatever caused you to feel disempowered, whether it was criticism or being blamed or whatever it was. You're not going to let that now affect you going forward, are you? Are you? No. Yeah, you're going to take your power back, and you're not going to blame others for the situation you were in, because you're going to make the very best of your situation. Yeah? I mean, we can do it to the people around us, can't we? You make me feel so bad because you do this and you say this and you make me feel. No one can make you feel like anything. Yeah, what are you talking about? Of course they can. If someone's being really horrible to me and like having a go at me and telling me I'm useless, of course I'm going to feel horrible. When we learn compassion for ourselves, when we learn to be compassionate, and when we can learn to love ourselves, we can make a conscious choice not to allow other people's projections to affect us. Yeah? So if other people are projecting their frustrations onto us, yeah, we can, I'm not accepting that. I'm not taking that in. Yeah, they're just words and your frustrations. Because that's what blame is, isn't it? People will project onto us as well, yeah? they'll blame us. Quite often, people can really open themselves up to showing what their real shadow side is by projecting onto us. So I don't know, for example, someone might be saying, accusing you of being a liar. You're a liar. You're a liar. Yeah? And you're thinking, I'm not a liar. I'm like a really honest person. I don't lie. What they're actually doing is they're projecting what they are onto you. Yeah? They're calling you a liar, but actually that is what they are. Yeah? But they're blaming you because they're not prepared to take responsibility, or they're not even prepared to look in the mirror and see that darker side of themselves. They're not prepared to do that and improve. Yeah? So rather than face their own shadow, they will project everything onto you. I've experienced it. But once you become aware of it, once you understand, you can detach. You can detach. Because you understand that them calling you a liar, or them calling you a bully, or them throwing those insults at you are all about them and they're nothing to do with you. So you can just detach from that. Yeah, but likewise, we don't want to be in that same situation, do we? Because it's easy to find blame for the current situation we're in. Yeah, it's easy to sort of say, oh well, I don't have the confidence to go for my goals because my parents constantly criticize me and they just took away all my confidence, and I just can't. We can do that, can't we? Yeah, but we're not going to do that. We're going to recognize that that is a pattern that may have happened in our past, but we're not going to allow that to continue. We're not going to give them the power over us still, which is what we're doing. Yeah, and we're going to take responsibility for our own lives, and we're going to take responsibility for our own actions. That can be hard. I mean, I mess up. I am great at messing up. Yeah, I can mess up. Not intentionally, but just like, I mess up. And you know what? Sometimes you just have to hold your hands up and say, I did wrong. Yeah, I'm sorry, I did wrong. So, stop blaming other people for the things that you feel you can't do now. Learn to love yourself. Work through the heavy issues of your past. Sit in that pain for a while and feel it, but then leave it there. Yeah? And if you are someone who gets blamed, understand that it's not you, it is them. Because we don't want to walk through life being a victim, do we? We don't want to be a victim of our circumstances. Yeah, that's not it's not a great look. It's not very attractive, is it? I'm a victim. Yeah, because that's another thing we can do. We can adopt a persona for ourselves. Yeah, we can. I had all these terrible things happen to me, so I am a victim, and you will walk around with victim flashing. Yeah, or I had these terrible things happen to me which caused my depression, so I shall walk around as depression. I am an angry person. Yeah, it's just who I am, and I am anger. Yeah, we can make a conscious choice to bring ourselves away from that. Yeah, I am. I am a person who is currently experiencing anger. I am a person who is currently experiencing sadness. I am a person who is currently feeling depressed. But you are not anger, you are not sadness, and you are not depression. And actually, if you have defined yourself as that person for years, it can actually feel quite scary to jump out of that role. Yeah? You know, dip your toe in the life of happiness and positivity. Woo, what's that? Yeah? You have to make conscious choices to change. You have to understand that everything you need, everything you require, you already have. Everything is inside of you. And you need to learn to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, then it's going to be hard to find joy. Yeah? And if you don't love yourself, you're going to have a hard time loving anyone else. Yeah? Blame is a useless thing. It's not something that you want in your life. Blame and love don't sit side by side. They're the complete opposites. Yeah? So get out of the blame game. Come on over to the other side. Yeah? Make that change. Please do please like, comment, love your comments, and subscribe for further videos. Okay, love you lots. Bye.